Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So we continue with part 2 of the lesson on how to play The Warning by Black Sabbath. And this was kindly requested and supported by Otto, so huge thanks goes out to him for the support. And in this part we're going to take a look at the sort of main solo of the song, which is going to be consisting also of 2 sections. The first section being sort of the solo break, and the second part is sort of the main solo of the song. There's going to be a third part of this lesson, of the lesson of this song on a separate video, so stay tuned. You know, I just decided to make it in 3 parts because the song is pretty long and there is a lot going on, especially for the guitar, so I decided to break it up into 3 parts. And the tabs and the backing track for this part are going to be available at GuitarForce.com. You will see the links in the description box down below. Also, I have to announce, if you haven't had a chance to check out, I have a new course just came out which is called Penta Madness, and it's on building speed, accuracy and endurance playing on the guitar. And this course is particular concentrating on pentatonic, the first position of the minor pentatonic, which very well corresponds to this lesson as well. You know, I was doing this lesson and there is just a bunch of quick, fast licks and phrases that Tony did. So, that course might help you if you don't have the speed yet. So make sure to check it out. I will also leave the link in the description box down below. Apart from that, we're going to be still in standard tuning, and the sounds, again, I was using the VST plugin Guitar Rig, so I'm going to show you the picture of the preset right now. And so we are in tune. I'm going to play you my low E string while you are checking out the picture of the preset. Alright, so we're going to continue with the next part of the song, and this part we're also going to break it up into 2 sections. So the first section is going to be the solo break, and before we start breaking it down, I just want to mention a couple of things. So first of all, in this part, it's played very free form, so you'll see a lot of time signatures in the tabs, but my advice is don't pay attention too much to the things like that, the time signatures, and also the notes, the rhythm of the notes is very important. So like I said, Tony's playing very freely, so I'm going to show you the notes, how to play them, but it all comes down to the rhythm. And because it's a free form, also, it's not 100% accurate in terms of the rhythm. And it's also because Tony's playing at a very fast tempo, very quickly, so some of the notes, they bleed into each other, so they're not very kind of like separated, what you see on the tabs. The tabs are there just for the reference. I'm going to show you how to play the notes, but it's up to you to listen very carefully to the rhythm of the licks and try to play them as close as possible. Again, I'm not a Tony Iommi, and everybody's different, so some of the parts might differ, but just to get the general idea how to play all of these licks, it's written out in the tabs, and I'm gonna play them as well. So we're gonna break them up into licks and phrases bit by bit, and then I'm gonna play the whole thing. So the first couple of phrases are gonna go like this. Also, I'm gonna be playing very slowly, so you can hear and see how the whole phrases go. So the first one goes like this. Okay, so also I'm not going to be calling out every string and every fret. You can see that in the tablature. I'm just going to be playing of the notes slowly, and you can follow along, and this is how we're going to do it. So the first phrase one more time. We have 2 triplets, then we have the bend, bring it down, then we have quick hammer-on pull-off and picking the B string here. Then we go, so bend G string, go into B, high E, and then finish off with a pull off. One more time, the whole phrase. Alright, moving on to the next one. It's gonna go like this. Okay, it starts off with the bend, then we bring down the string, have two quick pull-offs, so then you pick the note again, then we have the bend on the B string, and then reinforce that note on the high E, then we have a pull-off on the B string, go into G, and then so B, this note, then bend it up, finish off with this note again. One more time. Okay, moving on to the next one. It's a little bit longer one, so it's gonna go like this. Alright, so let's break this one up also into parts. So the first part we have 16th notes. So this part, then we have a quick, so it's a pull off, hammer on, and then you go right into the bend, so reinforcing that note again, then we have the pull off on the B string, so all together. Then we have two hammer-ons pull-offs, first on a high E, then on the B string. By the way, all of these phrases and licks are played on the in the first position of the D minor pentatonic. Okay, so back to the phrase. So we have two hammer-ons pull-offs on the high E on the B string, and then we have so 8th notes here, nothing too complicated. Then we go to the D string, again we have a quick hammer-on pull-off and then hammer-on again onto the D note here, and then we go down. So just going down the scale, going back up, and in the end we have, so it's a rake, muted strings, and bending the high E string. Okay, so one more time, the whole phrase slowly is gonna go like this. Alright, continue with the next one. It's also a little bit lengthy one, but it's a little bit slower, playing with 8th notes and triplets, so it's gonna go like this. Okay, so one more time. We're going to break it up into parts. So the first part. Alright, nothing too complicated. Then we have 8th notes again, starting with a pull off on a high E. Alright, then moving on to the next part, we have so in this bar, we start off with the two pull-offs on the G string. Then we have two triplets. Okay, so a little bit of change of rhythm here. And then we have, so here we have a grace note. Slide out, and then we have just two chords, D to E. And slide out the last chord. Alright, so this part we're done playing in D. Now we move on to the E. into the E, change of key. So the next part is gonna go like this. Okay, so here we have a quick hammer on, little rest, and then we play a triplet on the G string, and then we pick it again, stay on this note, add some vibrato, and then just play part of the chord of the E minor and slide out. Then we repeat again the same thing. And then we go into the next part of this quick solo break. So the first phrase is gonna go like this. Alright, so one more time, starting off with a hammer on, 16th notes. Then we have bend on the G string. Then we have a triplet between high E and the B. So high E, B, high E. Then we are back onto the B string. So pick that note, bend it up, bring it down, 12, and then go into the high E on for the bend. The whole phrase so far. Alright, then we continue with the next part. It's gonna go like this. So that's the first bar. So we have here a couple of rhythmical figures. So the first one is we have a quick pull off, go into the B string and then back to high E. And then we repeat it again. Then we have pull offs just on a high E string. So we have two pull offs here, and then we have another pull off, but we do the same as the first lick that we did, but it's a slightly different rhythm, as you can see. So one more time, the whole thing. And then we basically repeat it again. So here in the end, you know, you hit the double stop. Again, it could be by mistake or just, you know, finger catching the two strings. So like I mentioned in the beginning, you know, there are a lot of notes which are, you know, Tony kind of play them together so they bleed into each other. So that could be E. Alright, so then we continue with the next part. It's gonna go like this. Okay, so here we start off with a high E string bent up and bring down, and then we have another lick which is using the sweep picking motion here. So we have, starting from the G string going up to the high E in one motion, so it's all downstrokes. Then we get to the 15. You pick that note, pull off, or you can hammer on and then play the rest of the notes going up with the pick. Up to this note, then back up again with a downstroke. Just these two notes, G, B, and then back to G, down to the D string. Okay, so like that. So it's kind of sweep picking motion, going down with a downstroke, then up, then again down, then up. Okay, and it's played, as you can see, very kind of free form, rhythmically wise. All right, and in the end we finish off with a. So you pick the note, pull off, and pick it again. So all together, slowly, it's gonna go like this. Then we'll continue with the next part. It's gonna go like this. Okay, so it starts off with the bend on a high E string. Then we play this lick. So we did it before. Then you play the double stop here and then pull off on the B string, and then two pull offs on the high E. Okay, one more time. Then we continue with the next phrase. Alright, so it starts off with a triplet, then we go to the B string, you pick that note, bend it up, then we have 4/16 notes. This is the last note here, and then high E, bend it up. Alright, continue with the next part. We have again we have 16th notes here, starting off with a pull off. Then we have the same pull off, but now we play a triplet, and then we play this double stop, and then in the end you bend the B string. Continue with the next part. So here we have pull off, 16th notes. Then we have two more pull offs. Bend on a G string. So you bend it up full step and then bring it kind of halfway down, and then playing this note. Then we continue with the next part. So 3 pull-offs on the B string, then we go to the high E, bend, then we have, okay, this part. And we finish off with the B string, bend it up, little rest, and then we have. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. So we have you can play it as a pull-off, or you can pick the notes, and then you pick the B string again, and then we have, so this lick, like that. One more time. And then we go into the next part, which is just playing, so it starts off with the hammer on from 12 to 14 on the A string, and then we go into quarter notes and just playing. So these are very simple. You will see everything in the tabs, and the idea here is we're playing quarter notes, like I said, and also we're slowing down, so gradually kind of slows down the whole thing. All right, so this is the first section of that part of the solo break. I'm gonna play again the whole thing now, all of the licks and phrases together, back to back. Again, like I said in the beginning, just keep in mind that the whole thing is played at a very, free form basically. So what I'm gonna be playing, I'm gonna be playing all of the licks together, back to back, but at a very slow tempo, so you can see and hear what's going on. You can follow along. And then, of course, you just work on speed and try to get it up to speed. All right, so here we go. Alright, so that was it for this part, the solo break. Now we move on to the next section, which is a little bit more straightforward. So now the whole band is playing together. So Tony's playing more of a kind of traditional style of the solo, because he's playing against the rhythm section. So the licks are more straightforward and a little bit more rhythmical. And before we start breaking down the next part, I just want to mention, if you have difficulties with playing at a fast tempo the licks and phrases, in particular in pentatonics, I just released a course which is called Penta Madness, which is concentrating exactly on that, on how to develop speed, accuracy, and endurance using the pentatonics. So make sure you check out that course. The link is going to be in the description box down below. And I'll see you in the course if you decide to purchase it. Alright, so now moving on to the next part. So the first part that we have a repetitive kind of riff, which is going to go like this. Alright, so we start off with this riff. So we have a hammer-on the D string. Then we go to the G, add some vibrato. We play it for 3 times. And then we have, so bend on the G string, bring it down, then go to 12. Now, also keep in mind that now we're playing with a shuffle rhythm, so that means that even though we're playing 2/8 notes, the first note is longer, the second one is shorter. Okay, so like in this instance. Okay, so we play this riff for 8 times, I believe, and then we go into the solo. So we're gonna also break it up into licks and phrases. So the first part is gonna go like this. Okay, so starts off with the triplet, bend on a G string, then we go B, high E, then we have B string on a 15, pick it and then bend it up, then we have back down 15, 12, and then we have 2 bends on a high E, gradual release, and then we have, so pick first the E note, and then we have 2 triplets, pull off on a high E, going to the B string, and then repeating again like that. Then the next part. Okay, let me play it one more time. Then we have a trill, just a quick trill here. And then, so pull off on the D string, go into A, and then back to the D with the hammer on. Like that. So far we got this. Okay, then we continue with the next part. Okay, I'm gonna separate here. So we have 3 licks here with starting with the bend on the G string, and then B, high E. So we play it for 3 times. Then we have 2 bends on the B string. Second one is longer, and then we have again triplets up until this moment. So one more time. So here when you reach to the 12 on the B string, we have 2/8 notes. So first longer, second shorter, and then we get into the triplet again. So pull off on the B string, go into the G. Then we have, so here we bend the G string, then we go to high E, and then pull off on a B, go into the G, and basically repeating again. And then we have, so you bend it up, bring it down, pull off, then 14 to 12. Then we have again, so two of these licks, triplets, bending G string, B, high E. Then we have two notes on the B string 15th fret, and then quick hammer on pull off, 12, 14, 12, go into the G, and then we have three bends. So the first bend is a full step, and then it's bigger, higher, so almost two step bend there, two times. So, and then we have, so 12 to 14, hammer on, and then back to 12, add some vibrato, and then we have, so triplet here on the D string, grace note, G, back to the D. And we stay on this note a little bit longer, and then to finish off this part of the solo. So it's a hammer on the A string, 12 to 14, then you pick 14 on the D, and then you will slide out and play low E string open. Alright, so this is the first part of this solo. Now I'm gonna play the whole thing. Slowly it's gonna go like this. Alright, so we finish off with this part of the solo, and now we have a riff which is kind of in between the two parts of the solo. So we have the low E string open, ring out, and then it quiets down a little bit, and then Tony starting playing the riff. So the riff itself is gonna go like this. Okay, so we have sort of like a pickup lick, which is gonna go low E string open, and then we have hammer on, open to the second fret on the A, then we have third fret on the low E, and then we have a grace note here, quick hammer on the D string, and then we just play on the low E the shuffle rhythm. So like I said, you know, the first note longer, the second one is shorter. And we have this pickup lick in between. So the very first time he's playing open low E, and then the lick. The rest of the times he plays third fret on the low E, and the rest is exactly the same. Okay? So we play this riff for, I believe, 4 times, and then we go into the next part of the solo. So again, we're gonna break it up into licks and phrases. So the first part is gonna go like this. So we play the riff, then we have the this transitioning part, and then we go into this part of the solo. So you bend the G string on the 4th fret here, bend it up, and then hammer on from 2 to 4 and then pick the note again. And then you add some vibrato, you slide up, and then we have again this part of the riff, and then we do this again, the same thing. But now we stay on this note longer, slide up, and then we go for the next part of the solo, which is gonna go like this. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. So we slide into the 9th fret here on the G. Then we have, so this note here. Then again, we pick the the note on the G string. Then we have again, so picking the B, going to G, and then we have a bend up, bring down, pull off, going to the G string again. So like that. Then we have 4 bends on the high E string, 10th fret. The last one kind of bring it down, and then we have, so we go back to the G string again on this note here, and then that lick. You slide up, you stay on this note a little bit longer, slide up, and then we go into this phrase. So it starts off with a B string, 12th fret, going to the high E with for the bend. Gradual release, and then we have again, just like we did in the other solo, starting with the high E, and then you play pull off, going to B, and then doing it again. Then bend up this note and reinforce it, high E, and then like that. So pull off on the B string, triplet here, and then the double stop. So one more time. Like that. Then we continue with the next part. It's gonna go like this. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. So one more time, slowly. So here we have a trill, then the double stop, and then we have the pull off triplet here on the D going to the A string. One more time. Then we have the next part, triplets. Okay, so we have a few double stops here with the slide bend, quarter notes, and the rest is triplets. So again, I'm just gonna play this part again, these 3 bars slowly. It's gonna go like this. So here in the last bar, when we have the double stop, so you play the double stop, slightly bend, and then pick it again. So as you can see, it's 2/8 notes, but the first one is longer, so second is shorter, like that. And then the last part of this solo is gonna go like this. Alright, so starts off with this triplet. Then we have 3 bends on the G string, and it's a step and a half. The last one, it's a gradual release, and then we have, so this one has a triplet feel, and it's also being played kind of staccato, so meaning short notes. And then, so these two, and then in the end, you just have hammer on, pull off, and staying on this note for 2 bars, adding some vibrato, and then in the end just play that triad here, part of the E minor chord, and slide out, and then it goes into the next part. Alright, so this is the sort of second part of the solo. Now I'm going to play the whole thing slowly, starting, I'm just going to play a couple of times the riff, and then we're going to go into the solo. So it's going to go like this. Alright guys, so that was it for this part. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment, share, subscribe if you are new to my channel. Check out the course Penta Madness for developing speed if you are trying to find a good course for developing speed. The link is going to be in the description box down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next part, and until then, take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.